Paper drops hit the concrete depot floor. The sound echoes through forward operating base Phoenix like a gunshot. Staff Sergeant Riley Martinez sits behind towers of ammunition inventory sheets, her blonde hair pulled back, blue eyes scanning endless columns of numbers. Blood from a paper cut dots the corner of her latest report. But here's what they don't know yet. Those same hands that sort through bullet counts once prevented 14 separate terrorist operations across 8 different countries. 0 mistakes. 3 armed insurgents stormed through the depot entrance, AK-47s raised. Their mission: eliminate the logistics clerk and steal advanced ammunition supplies. But they made one fatal mistake. They assumed the quiet woman counting bullets had never fired them in anger. Here's where it gets interesting. Riley's eyes move differently now, not like someone processing inventory, like someone calculating distance, wind resistance, and kill probability. Her breathing slows, heart rate drops. First insurgent never sees the heavy brass clipboard coming. In trained hands, office supplies become precision instruments, flies with surgical accuracy, striking the temple down instantly. Second insurgent turns, weapon swinging toward Riley's position, but she's already moving like liquid death, using ammunition crates for cover. Her ballpoint pen becomes a lethal instrument, striking the carotid artery, unconscious in 12 seconds. Third insurgent reaches for his radio. Riley's hands find a standard issue stapler, launched at 27 feet per second. Impact zone, solar plexus, threat neutralized. But here's what you need to understand. This story didn't start 3 minutes ago. It started 8 years earlier, the day First Lieutenant Riley Martinez, 3rd Special Forces Group, Scout Sniper Division, discovered she had a gift for making impossible shots. For 47 months, Blue Phantom was a ghost story whispered in special operations circles. The sniper who could appear anywhere, eliminate any target, and vanish without leaving a trace. Longest confirmed kill, 1,437 meters. But first, let me tell you why she disappeared. Operation Desert Phantom, Syria. 2019, Riley and her spotter, Corporal Danny Rodriguez, provided overwatch for a high-value target extraction. Enemy sniper positioned 1,100 meters northeast. Sandstorm reducing visibility. Mortar rounds falling every 30 seconds. Riley lined up the shot, breathed out, squeezed the trigger. The bullet missed by 2 inches. 2 inches cost Danny Rodriguez his life when the enemy sniper returned fire. 2 inches shattered Riley's confidence. But here's what they don't know yet. That missed shot wasn't a mistake. It was a choice. Riley had identified a child in the background. Shifting her aim 2 inches left saved an 8-year-old girl's life. Danny Rodriguez died a hero. But Riley couldn't live with the weight of perfect marksmanship anymore. She requested transfer to logistics. Buried Blue Phantom. Chose to count bullets instead of firing them. For 3 years, she's avoided this moment. Colonel Harrison storms into the depot with urgent intelligence reports. Martinez, these supply coordinates don't match. We need someone who understands precision. Riley glances at the tactical maps. Sir, these positions are compromised. Enemy observation posts have clear sight lines on approaches 7, 9, and 12. The colonel freezes. How do you know that? Because Blue Phantom memorized every strategic position within a 50-kilometer radius. Because some skills never fade, no matter how deep you bury them. Lucky guess, sir. But Harrison's radio crackles. Colonel, incoming sniper activity. Enemy marksman positioning on Ridgeline Alpha, targeting main gate rotation. Harrison looks at Riley. We need our best shooter out there. Here's where everything changes. Riley's hands stop moving across the inventory sheets. 3 years of hiding. But when 47 lives are at risk, Blue Phantom doesn't stay buried. Colonel, I might be able to help. 27 minutes later, Riley lies prone on the observation deck. M24 sniper weapon system in her hands. The weight feels like coming home. Muscle memory awakening from forced hibernation. Through the scope, she identifies the target. 812 meters. Enemy sniper establishing firing position. Wind speed 4 knots northeast. But here's what the colonel doesn't know yet. Riley's calculating more than just her shot. She's processing the enemy sniper's behavior patterns, identifying his escape routes, predicting his next 3 moves. This is 3-dimensional tactical chess played at the speed of thought. Her breathing becomes metronome steady, The world disappears except for crosshairs and mathematics. Riley squeezes the trigger. 812 meters away, the enemy sniper's weapon explodes from his hands. Shoulder shot. Precise, non-lethal, professional. Colonel Harrison lowers his binoculars. Jesus Christ, Martinez. That was impossible. But here's what makes it more than impossible. Riley made that shot with a rifle she'd never fired before, in wind conditions she hadn't calibrated for. Any other marksman would need 3 practice rounds and 15 minutes of adjustment. Blue Phantom needed 1 trigger pull and 0 hesitation. Where did you learn to shoot like that? Riley safes her weapon and stands. Fort Bragg, sir. 3rd Special Forces Group, Scout Sniper School, Class 07 2018. The words detonate like artillery rounds. But Harrison isn't finished. He pulls out his secure tablet and enters Riley's service number into the classified database. What appears makes him sit down hard. Staff Sergeant Riley Martinez, designated marksman, 3rd Special Forces Group. Confirmed kills, classified. Longest recorded elimination, 1,437 meters. Operational code name. He stops reading and looks up. Blue Phantom. Here's what you need to understand about that name. Blue Phantom wasn't just another military sniper. For 47 months, she was the most effective long-range eliminator in U.S. Special Operations Command. 96 high-value targets neutralized. 14 major terrorist operations disrupted. 0 civilian casualties. 0. Every shot calculated not just for elimination, but for protecting innocent lives. Every operation executed with surgical precision that saved more lives than it took. Martinez. You're actually Blue Phantom? For 18 months, Blue Phantom was a legend. The sniper who could thread a needle at 1,000 meters. The soldier who provided overwatch for the rescue of 37 hostages without firing a single shot. But legends don't count ammunition in depot warehouses. I just process inventory now, sir. But the colonel has already made his decision. Not anymore. I'm recommending you for the Advanced Marksmanship Instructor Program. We need specialists like you training the next generation. Here's what happens next that changes everything. Word spreads through Fob Phoenix like wildfire. The quiet logistics clerk who counts bullets is Blue Phantom. The woman who filed reports for 3 years is one of the most decorated snipers in Army history. Private Johnson finds Riley at evening chow. Sergeant Martinez, is it true you're Blue Phantom? Riley looks up from her meal. I'm just a logistics specialist, Johnson, but my cousin deployed with 3rd Group. He said Blue Phantom saved his entire squad during a firefight outside Kandahar. Riley's fork stops moving. She remembers that mission. 12 soldiers pinned down by enemy fire. 3 enemy snipers on elevated positions. She eliminated all 3 in 97 seconds. Your cousin make it home? Yes, ma'am. Whole squad credits Blue Phantom with saving their lives. But here's the cost of that success. Every confirmed kill carved a scar on Riley's psychological landscape. Not from guilt, but from the weight of perfection. When you never miss, every shot carries the responsibility of flawless execution. Blue Phantom didn't retire because she failed. She disappeared because success demanded too much of her humanity. The next morning, Colonel Harrison discovers Riley at her desk, processing ammunition requests like nothing happened. Martinez, Special Operations Command wants you back. Riley's hands freeze over her keyboard. Sir, I chose logistics for specific reasons. Here's where the facade finally cracks. My spotter died because I made a choice, sir. Saved a child's life instead of eliminating the target immediately. Cost Danny Rodriguez everything. The colonel sits across from her desk. I read the classified after-action report. That wasn't failure. Martinez. In a sandstorm, at 1,100 meters, with mortar rounds falling every 30 seconds, you chose to save a civilian life. But here's what you need to understand about Blue Phantom. Perfect marksmanship was never about eliminating targets. It was about perfect judgment, knowing when to shoot, when to hold fire, understanding that every bullet carries the weight of protecting innocent lives. I don't miss, sir. That's what made me Blue Phantom. And that's exactly why we need you. 4 days later, Riley stands before 23 aspiring snipers at the base training facility. Her logistics uniform replaced by instructor gear. My name is Staff Sergeant Martinez. For the next 8 weeks, I'll be teaching you advanced marksmanship and tactical decision-making. A young corporal raises his hand. Sergeant, What's your operational background? Riley looks at the 23 eager faces. Young soldiers who need the best training possible to survive in combat zones. I've been where you're going, and I'm going to make sure you come home with the skills to protect everyone who depends on you. For 8 weeks, Riley transforms 23 good soldiers into exceptional protectors. She teaches them wind reading, range estimation, target identification, but more importantly, she teaches them judgment. On graduation day, Colonel Harrison addresses the class. You've been trained by one of the finest marksmen in Special Forces history. Staff Sergeant Martinez, operational codename Blue Phantom, has prepared you for challenges that will test everything you believe about precision and responsibility. After the ceremony, Corporal Williams approaches Riley. Sergeant Martinez, thank you for everything you taught us. Remember the fundamentals. Williams, protect your teammates. Come home safe. Will you ever return to special operations? Riley looks out at the desert training grounds. Maybe. When I'm ready to carry that weight again. That night, her phone buzzes. Text from Colonel Harrison. SOCOM wants you for advanced instructor position, Fort Bragg. Developing curriculum for next-generation military snipers. Interested? Riley stares at the message. Fort Bragg, where Blue Phantom was born, where she learned that precision isn't just about hitting targets. She types back, send me the details, sir. Here's where the story comes full circle. 3 months later, Staff Sergeant Riley Martinez returns to Fort Bragg, not as the broken soldier who blamed herself for one impossible choice, not as the logistics clerk who counted bullets to avoid firing them, as Blue Phantom, the sniper who never truly disappeared. She stands before her first class of 50 advanced sniper candidates. My name is Staff Sergeant Martinez, but you probably know me by a different designation, Blue Phantom. A murmur runs through the classroom. Blue Phantom, the ghost sniper who could appear anywhere, eliminate any target, and vanish without leaving evidence. For the next 12 weeks, I'm going to teach you everything I know about precision marksmanship, tactical decision-making, and the psychological cost of perfect execution. But here's what you need to understand about being a protector. Blue Phantom was never about individual elimination statistics. It was about perfect judgment under impossible pressure. Understanding that every shot you take carries the responsibility of bringing your teammates home alive. You're not here to become killers. You're here to become guardians. Every technique I teach serves one purpose: protecting the people who depend on you. For 12 weeks, Riley transforms 50 exceptional marksmen into perfect guardians. She teaches them technical mastery, but more importantly, wisdom, how to handle psychological pressure, how to make split-second decisions. On graduation day, Riley addresses her students one final time. You came here as shooters. You leave as protectors. Carry that responsibility with honor. Later that evening, Colonel Harrison finds Riley on the observation deck. Any regrets about returning? Riley adjusts the scope on her rifle, targeting practice silhouettes 800 meters downrange. No, sir. This is where Blue Phantom always belonged. Training the next generation? Blue Phantom was never about individual missions. Every sniper I train might save a dozen lives. Every technique I teach might bring someone's family member home safe. She squeezes the trigger. Perfect center mass at 800 meters. That's worth more than any single operation Blue Phantom ever completed. Remember Riley Martinez the next time you encounter someone whose abilities seem to extend beyond their job description. Someone whose calm precision suggests training they can't discuss. Real heroes don't retire from protecting others. They just find new ways to serve. Blue Phantom never disappeared. She evolved, from individual operator to force multiplier, from protecting dozens to training thousands. Here's what you need to understand about hidden veterans. They're everywhere. The quiet mechanic who moves with tactical precision. The soft-spoken teacher whose situational awareness never switches off. The humble office worker whose skills extend far beyond their job description. They chose civilian life not because they stopped being protectors, but because they found new ways to serve, new people to protect, new missions that matter. And when the moment demands it, when lives hang in the balance, those skills resurface, not because they want to return to war, but because some responsibilities never end. Blue Phantom reminds us that real heroism isn't about individual glory. It's about the quiet choice to protect others, even when no one knows your true capabilities, especially then.